President Trump says the pandemic will likely get worse before it gets better, and he changes his tune on face masks.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. President Trump held his first coronavirus news conference in months today as dozens of states and the District of Columbia experience a rise in infections. It came amid a new warning from the CDC about how many Americans are actually infected. CBS's Skyler Henry reports from the White House.
President Trump shifted his tone on the coronavirus pandemic as he held his first briefing on the virus since April.
It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better.
The president's decision to resume the briefings came with the U.S. approaching nearly 4 million cases of the virus, a number the CDC warns is likely much higher. Cases are skyrocketing in California and parts of the South.
We have embers and fires, and we have big fires, and unfortunately now Florida is in a little tough or in a big tough position.
Unlike the early months of the pandemic, the president also encouraged Americans to take mitigation measures seriously after he was seen attending a fundraiser without a mask Monday night.
We're instead asking Americans to use masks, socially distance, and employ vigorous hygiene.
President Trump held the nearly 30-minute briefing Tuesday without any of his public health experts at his side and took only a few questions.
Why are your doctors not with you here today? Where's Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx?
Well, Dr. Birx is right outside.
Earlier in the day, presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden, who wants to make testing more widely available, accused the president of giving up on the American people.
You know, he's quit on you, and he's quit on this country. But this election is not just about him. It's about us.
On Capitol Hill, Trump administration officials and lawmakers continue negotiations on a Phase 4 relief bill that's estimated to cost at least $1 trillion. Administration officials say a deal on the next stimulus bill could come by the end of the month. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump says he is willing to work with China on a coronavirus vaccine if necessary and plans to hold more news conferences during the next few weeks. Governor Beshear says right now is the most important time of the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Beshear says this is the time to come together and get things done. Here's a breakdown of today's cases. We saw our second highest single day for new cases at 674. 9 of the top 10 highest days are from this month. We've now topped 24,000 cases in Kentucky. Our total is 24,060. 3 new deaths were reported today, bringing our total to 674. Businesses across Kentucky are continuing to find their footing amid the impact of the coronavirus. In March, we met up with Sean Thatcher, the owner of Thatcher's Downtown and North Fork Grill in Jackson. He watches the governor's news conferences and is worried about the possibility of another shutdown if things do not improve.
If he shuts this down again, I don't really look for much to survive as far as local restaurants go. I mean, the McDonald's and the KFCs and Taco Bells, they'll be here, but our places, they'll be gone. All of them, not just my place, all of them, they'll be gone.
Thatcher says he hopes Governor Beshear goes back to encouraging Kentuckians to shop local like he did when this all started. As the start of school nears, districts are trying to form a reopening plan with COVID-19 cases increasing. Hazard Independent Schools held a Facebook Live to talk about new details in its reopening plan. Principals from all the schools talked about specific plans for each school, including class schedules, lunch, recess, and other safety measures. Superintendent Sandra Combs says the next step is orientation, which is in person with a virtual option.
After watching the orientation and you still want to choose the virtual option, you must call and talk to your principal so that we can make sure that you have all the necessary equipment for your child to be successful.
Combs says the situation is ever changing, so the plan could be different by the time school starts in late August. We have the school's orientation dates on our website. Look for this story on WYMT.com. The North Fork Music Festival is one of the latest events to be scrapped due to COVID-19. Officials in downtown Hazard made the decision to cancel this weekend's event after yesterday's new guidelines by Governor Beshear. Downtown Coordinator Bailey Richards says that while it was disappointing, this was not something they had ruled out.
if this had come completely out of the blue, it would have really hurt more than it does, knowing that it was entirely possible. We have seen so many other festivals, Black Gold Festival, that have all run into this year, and so we weren't, completely thinking that this was not even a possibility.
Richards also says that city officials hope to bring everyone together for Oktoberfest this fall.
We're seeing a few showers and storms move through this late evening. Some of them a little bit on the stronger side as well, but overall making me want to go to bed early. So we're going to try to get this over quickly. Looking at Pinpoint Doppler, you can see some heavy showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning down into parts of Knox and Whitley County, mostly into Whitley County now, but you can see that storm is dying down. That's expected to expire at around 11:15. I think we could see that expire pretty early. Some heavier showers moving into that deep Cumberland Valley over into Wayne-McCreary County as well. Heard some thunder here in parts of Perry County, a little bit of rain at my house. Still seeing some heavy showers moving through parts of Wise over into parts of Virginia, Harlan, a little bit into Letcher, now moving into Pike counties as well. Like I said, mostly just providing some pretty heavy rain for most of us, and possibly even some gusty winds. Temperatures right now, if you're getting in on the cooler side, you're into about the upper 60s in Williamsburg to upper 70s over into London. Still in the 80s near Jackson, 79 over into Prestonsburg. Now for tonight, we'll see temperatures drop near about 71 degrees, obviously hanging on to a few rain chances throughout the rest of those evening overnight hours, and more rain moves in tomorrow as a cold front moves in. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Now to an update on a story we first brought you at 6 o'clock. A short time ago, the Perry County Sheriff's Office said they made an arrest in a shooting in the Cornettsville community. It happened on Millbrook Lane off Kentucky 699 around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Perry County Sheriff Joe Engel tells us that's where 57-year-old Jesse Cottle and another man got into an argument before Cottle allegedly shot him. Witnesses to the shooting said they had no idea what Cottle was going to do when he pulled the gun.
They found one shell casing in the road here. Yeah, it was scary. Yeah, I thought he was going to shoot me, at first, and I thought he probably shot my sister. It was scary. We had 6 kids in the house at the time, and we just asked them to leave because we have children. We don't need that down here.
We do not know the victim's name or condition right now. We'll keep you updated as we learn more on WYMT.com. Attorney General Daniel Cameron has filed a motion to defend placing Marsy's Law on the November ballot. The Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers have filed a lawsuit to challenge the constitutionality of the measure and how it was passed. Marsy's Law was passed overwhelmingly by Kentucky lawmakers. Back in 2018, voters approved the measure, but it was struck down by the Kentucky Supreme Court because of the way it was worded. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he will defend the right for Kentuckians to vote on the proposed constitutional amendment. Dr. Nancy Clark came back to Pikeville in 2017 and has since helped Pikeville Medical Center form a vascular surgery department that they believe to be the best in the region. High-tech equipment helps the team approach surgeries without leaving large scars. Dr. Clark says no hospital in the region is doing what PMC is doing, and she is happy to be helping her area, something that was cemented recently after working on a patient.
The family I didn't know, but after the procedure and patient's doing well, we were just chatting with the family, and the family actually knew my family, my aunts and uncles, and it was just sort of a great reunion coming back to Pikeville and being able to care for someone that was known to my family.
One of Dr. Clark's main focuses is on abdominal aortic aneurysms. A Knox County baby is now home after 620 days. 620 days in the hospital. Legend Denver Asher was born October 26, 2018 at just 1 pound and 7 ounces. But his story actually starts before birth. It starts at week 10 of his mother, Caitlin Asher's pregnancy. WYMT's Emily Bennett has that story.
A journey one can only describe as a miracle.
After, healthy pregnancies, you just kind of think that it's not going to happen to you. It's just like, it's one of those things you just can't describe it until you're living it.
Caitlin Asher got pregnant in May of 2018. The pregnancy was smooth until week 10.
It was very intense bleeding. I got very sick, like swelled really bad, and just like I wasn't able to do anything.
She was told she had a partial molar pregnancy and would miscarry within a few weeks. But weeks later, she had not miscarried, but her health was deteriorating.
And I was honestly kind of waiting for that, because I didn't want all of the what ifs, like what if he could have been something,
Asher went to UK Medical Center, where she was told she had a complete molar pregnancy with a viable twin, meaning one baby had not formed. Doctor said the baby could die at birth or she could lose her own life, but she refused to terminate the pregnancy.
I kind of felt alone at that point too, because like he was more, siding with my health and the doctors, and I mean that's natural, and like my family was too, so I kind of felt it was like me being like, let's do this, but then I was kind of scared also.
For 3 months, Asher was in the hospital fighting for her own life and her baby's.
It was just very, very scary.
But at 24 weeks and 4 days, legend Denver Asher was born, weighing just 1 pound, 7 ounces.
I really felt that he was a legend because like that doesn't happen, every day to people.
Legend spent the first 14 months of his life at UK Medical Center before being transferred to a respiratory care center.
I don't think that I could ever prepare, until you're actually living it.
Legend has a long battle ahead, but he's here, bringing joy to those around him.
Even with his journey, his trach, he's by no means healed. He still has, a long way to go, but he's here. We're both here. That's kind of that was the goal, right?
In Knox County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Incredible story. Legend came home on July 8th. He did have a tracheotomy in May of last year and was ventilator dependent until just a few weeks ago. He receives all his nutrition through a tube. Coming up at 11, it's being called one of the largest money laundering schemes in Ohio's history, and now the FBI has arrested a state official in connection with the growing controversy.
More showers and storms move in tomorrow as a cold front moves in. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.